tonight. As the Liberals win a minority government, Saskatchewan remains a conservative stronghold. We find out what political leaders here are saying about another Liberal term. And students go under the hood at an automotive camp in Saskatoon.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, April 29th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. CBC News is projecting a Liberal minority government. Ashley Burke has the latest on what's being called the biggest reversal of political fortunes in modern Canadian history.
After a long night and not much sleep, the Prime Minister arrived at his office, getting back to work, fresh off his election win that seemed unimaginable just a few months ago.
Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
Mark Carney tapped into the threat of Donald Trump to help dramatically reverse his party's fortunes.
I am going to begin with the value of humility.
He campaigned up until the last minute, asking for a strong mandate, but came up just shy of a majority.
After this most consequential election, let's put an end to the division and anger of the past.
Carney's calling for Canadians to unite to take on Trump.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bruce Fanjoy says the U.S. president changed the race. It helped him secure the second biggest victory for the Liberals.
It's a remarkable story, this race in Carleton.
500 volunteers helped him beat Pierre Poilievre, unseating the Conservative leader for the first time in 20 years.
They recognized that we faced this threat and focus on who is best able to lead Canada through this moment.
Liberal Stephen Guilbeault says just months ago he thought the party would lose and says a win is a win.
I think it is more complicated in a minority government, but it doesn't mean that things can't get done. And I think now, by the looks of it, we would have two dense partners.
Marcy Sirk says the Liberals could still come up with creative solutions to cobble together a majority by trying to get NDP members to join their party or work with other parties on a case-by-case basis.
We like majorities because they're neat and tidy, but this is a very strong minority by any account. So the Liberals absolutely can govern in this circumstance.
The Prime Minister's office says Carney spoke to Trump today, and the U.S. president congratulated him on his election, and that the two leaders agreed on the importance of working together as independent sovereign nations and agreed to meet in person in the near future. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
And while the Liberals are ultimately in government in Saskatchewan, the night belonged to the Conservatives for the most part. Laura Sharpaletti has more.
Saskatchewan here, we're pretty blue. 13 out of 14. We lost the Northern Riding, unfortunately. But I'm very proud as caucus chair that the Conservative Party of Saskatchewan came through. We all worked very hard.
As Waugh said, the Conservatives are projected to win 13 out of 14 ridings, including these 6 in and around Saskatoon, North Battleford, and Prince Albert. Multiple projected winners tell CBC the people of Saskatchewan trust Conservatives to represent their issues, and they want change.
It's the abuse that we get from Ottawa. It is their belief that we should pay up and shut up, and that they can withhold our ability to provide for future generations.
Still, the Liberals did make gains, although at the expense of the NDP, a trend echoed across the country. The Liberal candidate for Saskatoon West may not have won the riding, but he's optimistic about Saskatchewan's ability to find common ground with the new Liberal government.
We know that Western alienation is a very real thing, and so does Prime Minister Carney. He recognizes the problem, and I think he's part of the solution. And so I really believe that we have an opportunity here in Saskatchewan to do a complete reset on our relationship with the federal government.
The race was tight in the south, but Regina Wascana stayed blue, with Liberal candidate Jeff Walters failing to flip the riding once held by Ralph Goodale. And Conservative incumbent Michael Cram held on to Regina Wascana by a thin margin. But the Liberals did flip a seat in the north, with Buckley Belanger as the projected winner. There are many issues important to northern folks on his to-do list.
Poor housing, things like the illicit drug trade, the infrastructure needs that we have in northern Saskatchewan. We think that Ottawa can make a significant difference with our communities, with our families on battling some of these things.
All 13 projected Conservative winners in Saskatchewan were incumbents. Laura Sharpaletti, CBC News, Regina.
Well, it's no secret the federal Liberals and Saskatchewan provincial politicians haven't always gotten along. Helena Mahalik has more on what the Liberals' victory means for that front.
Saskatchewan's Premier Scott Moe is congratulating Prime Minister Mark Carney on his victory and begging for Saskatchewan and its people to be seen and heard during this new Liberal term.
I truly hope that not only the Prime Minister, but the entirety of whoever's in his cabinet and caucus haven't given up on Saskatchewan, the people that live here, the industries that are creating wealth for families here, and Saskatchewan's role in the Federation. And so we're going to find out about all of that very soon, because there is some changes that need to be made.
Moe says those changes should include federal policies affecting the cost of living for people here, such as clean electricity regulation policies that Moe says don't allow for affordable power in Saskatchewan. He hopes Carney can resolve some of these issues in person.
And I would take this opportunity to invite Prime Minister Carney to a meeting here in Saskatchewan, where we'd love to host him, to chart a productive path forward for our province within the nation of Canada.
More now. The Saskatchewan NDP also want change. Leader Carla Beck says she's curious to see how the federal government and premiers in the country stand up to international threats.
We need to see action. That was already the case before Donald Trump started threatening our sovereignty and our economy. That is certainly the case now. And we are where we are. How we get through this is going to largely be determined by how well those leaders can work together to find common ground and to actually deliver.
Municipal leaders are also weighing in. Saskatoon's Mayor Cynthia Block has spent the winter months trying to tackle the city's homelessness crisis and wonders what will come from the Carney government in terms of housing.
I will be very interested to see the details of the plan. I think for all of the variations of housing plans that the federal parties had, there was sort of short on specifics about how that was going to get paid.
Regina's Mayor Chad Bashinsky was also weighing in. In a statement, he says he's looking forward to a collaborative relationship with Carney's government. He also hopes funding will be prioritized for critical issues like infrastructure and housing. Helena Mahalik, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The provincial NDP is also criticizing the Sask party for not signing a new child care agreement with the federal government. The current agreement runs out next March. Only Alberta and Saskatchewan have yet to sign on to the deal. The province's education minister says the province was only given 2 weeks to agree to a deal in February, which he didn't think was fair. The NDP says that should have been resolved a while ago.
I do still strongly believe that there is time to negotiate that. That being said, we would be wanting to negotiate a new deal as quickly as we can. So that will start with the conversation with the new federal minister and his or her team, and then trying to work out an arrangement as quickly as possible.
Prime Minister Mark Carney must first appoint a cabinet before the province is able to negotiate. That could be weeks away. Regina's city manager is on leave. An agenda posted online for a special city council meeting says Nikki Anderson is on leave effective Tuesday. The agenda doesn't make clear if Anderson's leave is indefinite or if she'll return. Anderson has been city manager since November 2022. She replaced Chris Holden, who was abruptly fired 2 years before his contract expired after serving in some capacity with the city for more than 40 years. It's expected current city clerk Jim Nicol will become acting city manager at Wednesday's special council meeting. He will be in position until further notice. Regina's Board of Police Commissioners met Tuesday to discuss the city's March crime stats. The report shows a slight decrease in crimes against people and property compared to March of last year, although this March did see some more violent crimes such as attempted murders and sexual assaults. As for traffic stats, police issued more than 1,000 photo radar tickets in March, most of them in school zones. That is up slightly compared to the same month last year. This meeting was also the first since Chief Farouk Sheikh was suspended earlier this month. The Public Complaints Commission is investigating a complaint made against Sheikh and will update the board once the investigation is complete. Well, not quite as sunny Tuesday through the province as we saw Monday, but some of us seeing a little bit of a breeze once again. However, things were nice and warm for many of us, and things are only getting warmer, a lot warmer in some cases over these next few days. I'll have the full details in your forecast after the break. Welcome back. A major anti-human trafficking conference is underway in Saskatoon this week. The event is bringing together lawyers and advocates to discuss how to fight organized crime and sex trafficking. Organizers say collaboration and connections in the community are key to addressing the issue. For instance, 88% of trafficking victims identify that they are being trafficked while they access health care.
Organized crime realize how lucrative and how much money they can make, and to be honest, how they can traffic people in the open. And they're depending on us not working together. They're depending on us not having conferences, working sessions like the Madison sessions. So they really have elevated the ability to move people.
The latest numbers from Statistics Canada show the vast majority of police-reported victims of human trafficking are women and girls, and 1/4 of them are minors. Well, this week has been declared Missing Persons Week in Saskatchewan. The government says there are more than 140 people who have been missing long-term. Relatives are reflecting on their loved ones this week, including the mother of Michaela Bawley, a Yorkton teen who went missing in 2016.
It was April 12th, 2016, when my sweet daughter, Michaela Bawley, then just 16 herself, vanished from our lives in Yorkton. Not a single day goes by that I don't think of her and that I don't pray for her safe return.
Despite extensive searches and tips, Bawley has not been located. The mother of Rochelle Bear was also at this week's missing persons event in Regina's Wascana Park. She has spoken with police and investigators and believes her daughter's body may be in the Regina landfill. Other cities, including Saskatoon, have had success in searching landfills for missing people. Bear is hoping the Regina Police Service will agree to a similar search.
I was told 3 years ago that by the investigators working on her case that they have a high possibility that she ended up at the Regina City landfill. And they told me it's going to cost me $400 million to dig her up. And that was 3 years ago. And they also explained to me what I'm going to find when I go dig her up. I'm going to find nothing but dust and bones, and I might not even find her at all.
Tamara Keepness has also been missing long-term. The little girl vanished from her home in Regina without a trace in 2004. The families at the event say they want to make sure their loved ones are never forgotten and that the police never stop searching. Well, Monday we had a bright sunshine following a weekend of even more sunshine. And as you can see for Tuesday, things clouding over pretty significantly in the province, including in Regina. And we actually are seeing a little bit of some rainfall on radar and satellite. We'll take a look at that and show you where we're seeing that at the moment. It's all the result of kind of that swirling low pressure system that you see moving through northern Saskatchewan. They're bringing some sprinkles of rain and even some snow to the north. But really, the story of the moisture today is in particularly southern Saskatchewan, even a couple of lightning strikes northwest of Regina earlier Tuesday, and some of that heavier rain falling to the south of the Trans-Canada highway there. That low pressure system also picking up the winds as well. We've been seeing those gusts in between 50 and 60 kilometers an hour in south and central as we've gone throughout Tuesday here. And temperature-wise, things have sort of rebounded a bit from Monday, especially in the south. We took a hit going back closer to 10 degrees for temperatures there. But now a lot of us creeping back up to the 20-degree mark. And you see in Prince Albert there, actually our warm spot Tuesday getting to 21 degrees. Northern Saskatchewan, those temperatures still holding back a bit into the single digits. But at least you got above the freezing mark Tuesday, because you did not manage to achieve that in some places on Monday. That rain going to start to move out of southern Saskatchewan through the overnight hours, and the clouds will actually begin clearing away as well. But as we head into Wednesday, a bit of a rinse and repeat scenario with moisture here, especially western sections of the province and through the Churchill region and northern grain belt. We're getting some showers isolated in nature with maybe a few rumbles of thunder. For northern Saskatchewan, the story is a few more snowflakes that'll be falling up there. Not a whole lot of accumulation expected, though. Those showers could make their way into southeastern Saskatchewan as we get into early Thursday, but then the moisture by and large clearing out, and we're in for some sunshine as we get into Friday. But with these systems sort of making their way through, particularly in southern Saskatchewan and really in that southeast corner is where we're going to continue to see those winds picking up from time to time. Not very strong, gusting probably in the range of 40 to 50 kilometers an hour or so. We are in, though, for some really nice warm weather over these next few days here. Hot, you could even say, as we get into the end of the work week and the start of the weekend. The jet stream well above the province, and those deeper red colors that you are starting to see there in Alberta, indicative of temperatures nearing 30 degrees. Regina, we might just get near 30 degrees as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Until then, sort of a progressive warm-up as we see a couple of breezy days Wednesday, Thursday, but sunshine by and large for a lot of us. Those temperatures, hot temperatures, don't last long, though. We'll see a return to seasonal for Monday and Tuesday with some possible showers. Saskatoon, maybe a few pop-up showers for Wednesday, breezy for Thursday, Friday. Your heat is kind of Friday, Saturday. Saturday could get to 30 degrees in Saskatoon, and then we return to more normal temperatures, still above normal, though, as we get into the beginning of next week, as we see a chance of some showers and possibly some wind gusts picking up here and there as well. Authorities in British Columbia say the man accused in the deadly vehicle attack in Vancouver was under the care of a mental health team. But they say there were no signs he required involuntary hospitalization. The 30-year-old suspect is facing several counts of second-degree murder after 11 people were killed in the car ramming incident at a festival Saturday night. Georgie Smythe reports.
We're beginning to learn more about some of the 11 people who lost their lives in an alleged attack at a Vancouver street festival last weekend. That includes the Lee family. Lynn Huan, Richard Lee and Katie Lee were killed just as they were departing the festival, leaving their 16-year-old surviving son who stayed home to do his homework. I spoke to Richard's brother, Tone Lee, about how his young nephew is coping.
I think he's still in a state of shock, and he's still processing everything. His entire life just changed overnight.
Lee says he's speaking so other families can grieve in private.
We're just one of many families that are going through this experience, and it's a senseless violence to innocent people, and as a society, we have to be better.
We also got an update from the VPD on other victims killed and injured. 9 of the deceased are women, 2 are men, all lived in Metro Vancouver. 7 people are still critical in hospital, 3 others are in serious condition. The accused, KG Adam Lowe, has been charged with 8 counts of second-degree murder after allegedly driving an SUV into a crowd of people at a Filipino festival. More charges are expected soon. Sergeant Steve Addison from the Vancouver Police Department also confirmed the accused did have an interaction with police in a neighboring jurisdiction the day before the alleged attack.
That contact was not criminal in nature, and it did not rise to the level where mental health intervention was required.
Lowe remains in custody and will be back in court on May 26. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, Vancouver.
After the break, students taking distance learning are getting an in-person look at the automotive industry. We'll catch up with the students who took part in an automotive camp in Saskatoon. That story plus a final look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back. High school students enrolled in online education got a chance to go under the hood Tuesday in Saskatoon. 16 students from the Saskatchewan Distance Learning Centre attended an automotive learning camp at Saskatchewan Polytechnic. They got a chance to get hands-on training in vehicle diagnostics and repair. The camp pairs online learning with valuable in-person experience.
I don't want to have to rely on guys to help me fix things when things get broken, or have to rely on my husband when I'm older to do things. And it's so empowering as a woman that there's more opportunities for me to do these things. In a regular high school, I probably wouldn't be able to do this class just because it would be so male dominated and I would just feel so uncomfortable. But the amount of women that are here is just so inspiring to me.
I would strongly recommend this course. It has taught a lot. You'll go through the online course, and then you will go in for your workplace, and then you will learn so much, and it will give you a hands-on experience and let you decide if that's what you want to go into or not.
The program is part of a growing push to link virtual classrooms with real-world trades training, helping students make informed career choices before they graduate. Well, a few showers still possible and maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder through especially southern Saskatchewan as we go Tuesday into Wednesday here. But temperatures, for the most part, staying above the freezing mark, kind of hovering around that between freezing and +5 for the southern half of the province. For the northern half, temperatures in the Churchill region kind of right around that freezing mark with maybe some showers and thunderstorms there. For the far north, though, temperatures dropping back into the minus temperatures, minus single digits as we see some snowfall overnight. That will continue, especially for the far north as we get into the first part of Wednesday. That begins to move out as we head into the afternoon, but a few sprinkles of rain and maybe thunderstorms possible into the Churchill region. Similar scenario setting up for south and central. We start the day with some nice sunshine. Temperatures taking off pretty quickly into the mid to upper teens by the afternoon, but some pop-up showers in western sections especially are possible, and those could migrate further southeastward into eastern sections of the province as we get later into the afternoon and possibly into the evening hours as well. And that is it for us. For more news anytime, you can head to cbc.ca/Sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. And of course, you can always download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.